I mean, that's sort of an interesting conversation. I've thought about just like fixing the quality issues by, I don't know, like VTubing, but with a photorealistic AI version of myself.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. But it is we're there. I mean, it's crazy. We're
Yeah.
starting to use it more for like edits and stuff than we were.
The other thing is the radio station has cameras.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure that out because that might be a mess.
Yeah, I need to email them, but I think I maybe let's not do it immediately. But um well, let's see how many people are here. Um let me hop into the chat. Talking about I'd like to switch to a radio station, and um but the room I use now to stream is going to become the nursery. So I think it might be like a great transition after get out of the house for a little bit and just make do with what I have for now.
I think it's a good idea. I like the idea. I just think that the routing that we've set up is so freaking complicated. It's very hard to do two remote views with a call in. The audio routing on that's like a rat's tail. I mean, you remember it took me months. And I was
Yeah.
worried like that wasn't even just time with us spent. I was like hours by myself trying to like figure it out. It was nuts.
Let me get into the show. Oh, we already have a call, and well, let's warm up a little bit because I know who this caller is. So let's.
You're gonna have to wait.
Yeah, you're gonna wait just a minute. So today's theme is Skinwalkers, online and off. I'm surprised I haven't done this. Maybe we have done this theme before, but I think it's a good one either way. So I was thinking we could do Skinwalkers as in the Navajo folklore, but also Skinwalkers as in online skinwalkers. And that can mean so many different things. It can mean catfishing, it can mean pathological liars, it can mean grifters, people who are, saying that they're one thing, but they're not. Ashley St. Clair sort of immediately jumps to mind as I say that. I don't know if she's really a skinwalker,
Are you
though.
friends with her?
I don't know her.
You've never
No.
met her?
No.
I didn't know. I mean, I know you knew like Lauren Chin and they're used to be in
Yeah, I mean,
ten.
I like, in my travels, I've encountered various e-celebs, but not Ashley St. Clair. I don't think she's lying necessarily. I just think it's like eh, this whole thing is just like Hollywood for ugly people.
She's
And
not lying. She's certainly. I don't think. I mean, I think she's pushing it. I think she's pushing the sensationalism of it. But
sure.
I think it was just loosely held beliefs, and she got scorned, and she's like, now it's time.
Yeah, well, I mean, these people never have their beliefs tested. That's why I have a real problem with people like who their whole like all they do is post or even write articles or make videos, and they talk about loyalty and magnanimity and like all sorts of things. It's like you're not really doing anything. And like your principles are never really being tested. So like I don't know what you're talking about, you know? And I think that's why it's easy. I mean, everyone knows that I'm like a big believer this is just entertainment. So people are like bags in the wind for that reason. But also it's like it's so easy to be any which way if there's no practical application. It's not like they're not social conservatives, so there's no sort of personal battle. Like what there's no how would they even know?
I'm surprised that you said loyalty.
They're not. I mean, like
Meaning that you personally wouldn't value that because I feel like both of us have had such negative experiences with media people. Like loyalty is kind of one of my
I value loyalty, but
yeah.
I don't know what people are talking about when they say such and such a internet personality is loyal because it's like you don't know that.
Oh, loyal to the movement, loyal to the ideas.
Yeah, loyal to the idea or loyal to one another. I'm a big believer in internet friendship, but also like what does it mean for like your favorite like big Twitter account to be loyal to his friends? He didn't shit post about you. He didn't quote tweet and dunk you. I mean, loyalty is tested through actions, or when it's tested online, I mean, it takes a long time. It's like that's a serious word to me.
I don't know. There's so much nonsense, both publicly and privately, with all of these people that it's just like I don't know. It- every time I've met a media person, I'm like, man, this person sucks, and then it makes me like the people that I like much more, even if I disagree with them, because it's like I'm not me and you could disagree, and I wouldn't be like, she's an enemy, you
Yeah.
know.
I don't know. I'm very sensitive to the, so and so's a great guy kind of argument because I'm like, you don't really, y- we have two minds of it. Internet friendship is real friendship, but also like you don't know if this person's a great guy. Like going out to dinner with someone doesn't make someone a great guy. Like you find out someone's a great guy when you have like a family member die and like you're in genuine need, or like you break a limb, or you're destitute, like, or you're suicidal. Like you find out people are great in times of struggle, which just doesn't it's not, some kind whatever current thing, struggle session on the timeline isn't like that's not a test of loyalty. It's just I mean, it's just wild to me.
I think in a certain way it is. I mean, there's certain people that just get dragged on. Like if people started like dragging you on the timeline, and then they were like, Taylor, we need your statement. I would be like, I'm not dunking on her. I'm sorry. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. Um, yeah. Anyway, so the topic is skinwalkers.
Why did you choose Skinwalkers? Are you just interested? Just came to mind, or wasn't
Um,
Claire?
no, I'm working on something about Wendigos, which is different. Um, but it's like too narrow. It's just too narrow to do a show about the Wendigo.
Everybody
But
be calling about the YouTuber. That's their connection.
skinwalkers are a little broader, and it has this dual meaning.
It does.
So, you know, and hopefully we have some profile folks retweet the show. I
We
feel like
need
I'm
everybody in the
surprised.
chat to go retweet. You're all
Yeah,
high profile to us.
yeah. Please retweet it. I mean, I guess we do get a lot of callers each time, but still, retweet it. I implore you, please. It it means a lot to me.
I hope we get a somebody who's really knowledgeable about the folklore itself.
Me
I'm
too.
I'm fascinated because I'm like I like the Skinwalker Ranch, especially the original lore before it gets to the television show stuff. But I don't know much about like the Native American. Um,
Apparently, there's not much lore because it's fairly taboo to talk about.
must have gotten taboo for a reason. There has to be something.
Well, you can become a skinwalker by killing a family member. You murder a family member, and that's part of the magic that turns you into a skinwalker.
Interesting.
And then most like the most of the other pieces of the lore are either from like colonizers later, or people building on this idea of like a you what we get from the Navajo, and this is my understanding. Please call in and correct if you know better. Is it's magical. You become a skinwalker through killing a family member, similar to the Wendigo. You become a Wendigo through cannibalism, and the skinwalker takes the form of an animal.
It can shift though. Yeah,
Right,
it's
it's a
like yeah.
shapeshifter. And there's always like a tell if in the human form you are a skinwalker. Like there's something that throat that if you're paying attention, you can tell this person is a skinwalker. In some parts of the lore, it's if an animal has human eyes, that's a skinwalker, or if a human has animal eyes. But I've heard other stories. Like there's an interesting one, um, I think from Appalachia, where it was like this woman who like had whatever the like 19th century version of a daycare is. She ran some kind of daycare, and it turned out she was a skinwalker, and she was sacrificing the children, and she had hooves.
Mm, that's freaky.
And that was the tell.
I've always
Um,
heard that they're mostly animal. Like, they look partially human, and they have, like, weird gait in the way that they walk, but it's mostly it's like,
the
closer to like a Bigfoot. They live out on the land, and they
Well, they I think they shift, like, the walking thing, though, is yeah, that's another tell that I've seen a lot. Um, I've read a lot of, folklore about the Wendigo, and I'm less familiar with Skinwalker lore. But, like, Skinwalkers are, like, always popular in TikTok. Everyone always thinks that they've seen a Skinwalker. And one of the things is, like, walking strangely. You
yeah,
know, there's this girl on Twitter who is, like, fixated with me, and she would make fun of the way I walk. I have double jointed hips, so my walk it is a little weird. But she would always call me a skinwalker because she was, like, convinced I was, like, lying about my identity somehow. And if I was gonna take on an alternate, I mean, I would be doing something else, let me let me tell you. But I'm surprised, with how often she called me a skinwalker and how often she made fun of the way I walked. She never put 2 and 2 together.
that you could be a skinwalker?
Well, she was calling me a skinwalker behind my back, that was her big thing, and, like, her friends would, like, come and tell me this, but she would also make fun of the way I walked, and I do kinda walk weird. So if you're gonna call me a skinwalker, like, and make fun of my gait, you might as well.
Go all the way.
Yeah,
I've
that's
heard a few stories from, like, younger, guys on tribes and stuff talking about skinwalkers trying to get into their trailers and stuff, and they're pretty frightening, but they're very similar the stories are very similar to Bigfoot stories and things of that
in
nature.
interesting. I've always thought of them as more like, um, mimics are another one, which I sort of I put in the same cryptid genre as a skinwalker, but not really Bigfoot because Bigfoot isn't sinister.
Oh, I think you are incorrect about that.
Not in the same way.
I kind of. They're not gonna hunt you, but
They're
I think
sinister because 'cause they're mysterious, though. I mean, the unknown,
well, they're
but
dangerous.
the they're dangerous like a big cat's dangerous, like a skinwalker is, like, demonic. You know what I mean? Is Bigfoot demonic?
I wouldn't use the word demonic, but I've heard several there's, like, kind of 2 different theories, but if you talk to the dudes that are, like, in the real groups, that not, like, with 10,000 users that are actually going out there and they're doing stuff like they don't bring tech and things of that nature, they have very, sometimes it's positive, but a lot of times it's negative. A lot of times it's, like, very frightening.
I would imagine it's scary, but just scary in, like, a different like, when I'm clustering it in my mind, I think of, like, mimics and, like, the Bell Witch and skinwalkers, all sort that's, like, one cluster, and then Bigfoot is just it's just a totally different genre of scary. It's scary, like
It's probably closer to aliens, like,
yeah,
where it's, like, a scary, but it also could verge into benevolent, but so strange that it
yeah, it's, like,
already
unknown, it's
yeah.
dangerous, like a big cat.
The
Alright,
weirdest
we're
stuff you wanna get to our
should
favorite
we
color here? Oh, man.
why don't you what were you gonna say, and then we could take their call.
Oh, I was just gonna say that, I won't dox her on stream, but somebody that we both know, interviewed, a Bigfoot one of these guys in this Bigfoot group, and he was a former pastor, and he got into this, and got really quite good at it, and it was in Oklahoma, and he got to the point where he thought that they were following him, and he had a way of, like, mind calling them, and he found evidence of one behind his shed, and then that was the final straw where he quit doing it because it had followed him, like, 100 miles or something.
I mean,
Um,
what happens if you just let them into your life?
well,
Just let them
he had an even stranger story, and the guy's, like, totally normal. He runs, like, a Baptist church. He had a bum shoulder from some previous injury. One of the times he goes out there, they have no tech, and Bigfoot touches his shoulder allegedly, and he has not had pain since, according to him.
Oh, yeah, I've heard stories like this,
Yeah.
where they have, like, healing
They have a healing. If they can sense your energy correctly, then they can heal you.
All right, let's sorry to keep you waiting.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, guys. How are you?
Good. How are
All
you?
right.
I am better than I think I've ever been ever in my entire life.
Enjoying the day.
So, I want to start off with the Skinwalker, and then I want to go into a couple other things. But all I lived on a military base called Dugway outside of Tooele, Utah. It's the home of biological warfare proving grounds. I lived on there with my brother-in-law and sister and took care of my nieces. I dated a lifeguard at the pool. There's a wild horse in our road because we're driving right now on a highway in the middle of the desert. So we just had a wild horse on the road. That's wild. But I asked her once, this was in '04, I asked her once about the Skinwalkers because they started on, Art Bell about it. And she told me not to ever mention that word. And she was native. She was a native girl. Her family was native. They all had lived for generations out in the Tooele Mountains, but they also had a lot of, I guess, relatives, you would say, in the Uinta Basin. And I explored the Uinta Basin with my brother-in-law quite a bit, and it is really freaky. But she would not, like, she got mad that I mentioned the word. Like, she was not okay with it. So that is for real. Second of all, I'm proud of you for quoting Martin Luther King, even though you probably didn't know you did it. It does not matter where you stand in times of comfort. It only matters where you stand in times of strife. Loyalty is actions, not words. Period. That's just, I'm proud of you. You guys are amazing. That's something that most people don't know. Actions speak louder than words. Gandhi took down an empire with pacifism. I mean, actions are the only way to test loyalty, period. Anything else, you're just blowing smoke up somebody's ass.
And money. Money is another way.
So I started off on Monday on the 5 on the Northern California border. And then we drove all the 5 all the way down to the 210 outside of LA. And then we went to Quartzsite, Arizona and participated in the Gem and Mineral Show. I have to tell you guys, if you ever get a chance, it is one of the coolest friggin' experiences in the world. It is just people from all over the world selling their rocks. I talked to a guy from Morocco who was amazing, who's a chef in Morocco. It was such a life-changing experience. This trip has been a once-in-a-lifetime, life-changing experience. Then we got to go to Yosemite, and my buddy here that's taken me on this trip, we climbed over these rocks, and then we were at this spot that you're not supposed to be, and that's where that rainbow was. And that was nature. That was one of the coolest things I've ever experienced in my entire life. I'm telling you guys, you have to go to the Yosemite Valley once in your life. It will change your entire opinion upon what life is. If you leave that valley and you're not moved, you do not have a soul, period. You just don't. And then we ended up from there, we went to Quartzsite, we went up to Vegas, and then last night stayed in Vegas. And then I got to fulfill one of my bucket lists. And I told Art, you guys said hello in my little silent prayer to him. And I got to leave a cabochon and see one of our heroes. And I thought that was probably one of the coolest experiences ever. And you guys kind of inspired me for this. I thought it was going to be a side mission, and then it turned out it was right on the way to Death Valley. So we went to like Death Valley too, and this has been such an amazing journey. We're outside of Reno right now, going to hit the city here directly.
Nathan, you're breaking up on us.
Yeah, there's service is spotty in the desert.
You there? I think he is gone. Nathan, if you can hear us on the stream here, Thank you for calling. If you didn't know, Nathan went and saw Art Bell's grave, which is very neat. He posted a photo on Substack. You can find him under Upholding the First. It's actually pretty cool that he went and saw that. So thank you for calling in, Nathan. Guys, the line is open. The number is 775-288-8576. You know what's interesting is that the lore kind of changes. I don't know much about the Native American stuff other than just like younger guys telling stories. But the lore around Skinwalker Ranch, particularly the early stuff before it gets too wild, is very interesting. We have another caller.
Oh, wonderful.
Caller, you're on the line.
Hey, what's good? I see your thing on your Twitter ad.
Oh, awesome.
So what you doing? You looking for stories of skinwalkers and like what else?
Yeah, so so it's a call-in show, so you're live to some people right now, but it's basically however you want to take it, whether that's literal skinwalkers, whether it's the lore or particular stories, or you can take it metaphorically if you dated a skinwalker or something along those lines.
All right, well, I do have a story about one.
Perfect.
Okay, so this happened about a couple months back, and I'm sitting in my backyard with one of my homies, and we got our dab rig back there, and taking badass dabs, and we're just chilling in homie's backyard, and a little dog walks up. Right? We never seen this little thing before. He doesn't even have dogs. He has cats, and like chinchillas or some shit. I don't know. He's a little weird. His house was a little quirky. I don't know. But we're doing that, and this little thing comes up to us and just start and just not doing anything, we'll give it some attention, And we're also sitting out there, it's not just dabs, we also got some woods rolled up, and we're fucking with the little thing. We're like joking around, handing it one of these little blunts, and it goes off and starts walking off in some other direction. And it goes into this bush. And me and my friend were just like looking at it because we're just out of our minds in this backyard, just chilling. We have a speaker with us. We're listening to some like Lil Uzi and some Chief Keef, but we're chilling other than that. And little dude walks off into the bush, and out of the corner of our eyes, we just see it like transform. And it goes from this like small little animal into like this thing. I don't even know how to describe it. It was tall. It was lengthy. It was white. That's what I remember. It was mostly white. It had like, I don't know if I want to explain it, like spots or almost just like, we couldn't tell. We couldn't tell if we just had spots on it or if sections of it were just like missing. Like it was just like darkness on like certain spots of its body. But it kept walking. It didn't like turn back or anything. It just kept going. And so we finished off what we were doing and we got out of there real quick.
What part of the country were you in?
We were chilling in like Florida. We're chilling near we were like out in the Everglades.
Oh, Everglades.
All of Florida's haunted.
Yeah, Everglades. How sure are you this is real? How high were you?
I'm sure. I don't think we were high enough to the point where like, well, we were chilling in homie's backyard, and so we had like a light out there too, as it goes out the bush, so we could still kind of see him, and it was noticeable. We saw it, like we saw like to this day.
Were you afraid?
Were we afraid? Me and my homie, we just got out of there. We were like, who cares? We weren't really scared of the dude because even when he transformed, I mean, like, yeah, he was big, but he wasn't like coming at us or anything. He was just kind of like keeping his own distance.
Did it have a weird vibe when it was a dog? When you were interacting with it as a dog?
It had a bit of a weird vibe. It was doing some weird stuff. Like it looked like it understood us more than it should have.
Did it have human eyes? That's what we were talking about before. Apparently they have human eyes.
So I did notice the eyes looked weird. I didn't think they looked almost human-like, but I did think they looked odd. They definitely looked off.
And what kind of dog did you say it was? What did it look like?
It was a little one. I don't even know what breed
It was like a little dog, like a Yorkie or something, like a little house dog?
Yeah, it was something small like a Yorkie. I wouldn't say it was actually specifically a Yorkie, but it was a
Yeah.
small little dog.
That's crazy. Have you ever had any other odd experiences in the Everglades or anywhere?
No, that was just it. We never smoked in the back of Bro's crib again. We were like, let's stay far away from that one. We were like, fine.
Did your buddy ever see the thing again at his house?
He says, so he remembers the whole thing, but he says he's never seen it again.
That's crazy.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for calling.
All right, you're welcome. Love the show, man.
Thank you. I wonder if that was the guy who responded to my Twitter. He always interacts with my stuff and on YouTube too. He seems like a nice guy. What do you make of that?
I don't know if it was
I wanna
Skinwalker.
I want to know how much they were smoking.
Well, I mean, for it to be like a shared
Yeah,
hallucination
that's
seems
true.
pretty rare, right? I feel like Florida has a lot of like unsettled energy though. Like a lot, more than any other state.
You think so?
It feels more haunted than like California for sure.
California's not haunted. California is like maybe in like the redwoods or something. California is more. I don't know.
California is haunted for real. I lived there. Come on.
You really think so?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, without the shadow of a doubt.
What's it haunted with?
Despair. I don't know. I think like demons for sure. But Florida has like
I can believe all the broken dreams in that state. Yeah.
I mean, like seriously though, it's like it's really overwhelming. A lot of people describe like they feel it.
I can believe that. Does it have a negative vibe?
Yeah.
Is it just like wannabe actors and broken founders?
I don't know what it is. It's just like it's dark. But Florida's dark too. It's just dark in a different way. Like Florida's dark in like a wild,
Yeah, it's
feral
a
way.
Yeah, it's feral.
Even like the people have like a feral sort of energy, like the ghosts of people. But which is it's to circle back to Skinwalkers. I think it's interesting that like Skinwalkers also are like tied to poltergeists.
Are they?
Yeah.
Say more. I've never even heard this.
Like on Skinwalker Ranch, like they had a poltergeist problem.
Yeah. I did know that.
But it makes me think like whatever unsettled energy is tied to the Skinwalker is also tied to a poltergeist, and it's just manifesting in different ways.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is that the only thing that I really know about the Skinwalkers is the early Skinwalker Ranch stories, which are diverge wildly from the Native American stories, and they only call it a Skinwalker because the Native Americans said that land was haunted, and that's why nobody lived on it. But the guy, I forget the guy's name. It's the dude who owned it before Bigelow. He sold it to Bigelow because he had some
Like
stories.
Sherman? Is that what it is?
Let's see. It's a
Fugle.
Terry and Gwen Sherman.
Yeah, Sherman.
But their first day there was their first encounter with the Skinwalker. So they get there and they bring their cattle and all of their furniture and stuff, and they have a cow that's like in a pen, and they see this thing that they say looks like a wolf, but it's about 3 times the size of a wolf. Walk up to the pen. He watches it take an enormous bite and rip the entire throat out of the cow and then run off. And he ended up shooting it, and it didn't phase it at all. And it ran off where he couldn't see it any longer. But, they had continued kind of strange cattle mutilations. But during that same time, they have UFO encounters. They have a bizarre kind of energy. They found some dude meditating on the land, and he was run off by some demonic force that attacked him while meditation. His wife saw a camper on multiple instances, but the guy inside of the camper was supposedly like 7 or 8 feet tall, and she would go up to drive up to see him, and then he would immediately drive off. Just really bizarre stuff. And it almost seems like a slip in reality or something, much more than, it's like an interdimensional kind of presence.
I mean, it could be like I do think that there's like like a finite number of like energetic archetypes that will appear, like it's culturally informed how they appear to you.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
So, it's hard to say like what is it?
I
Right?
I mean, the easiest explanation would be UFOs, aliens.
I don't know. I mean, if we're going with like the interdimensional UFO theory, sure.
Well, you see UFOs appear, at least with this one Skinwalker story, it appears there. It also appears with Bigfoot. Uh, I'm doing research right now on the overlap between owls and UFOs. And a lot of people that see aliens of any sort, they remember it as seeing enormous owls.
Owls
Um,
are so scary.
you should read the stories in this book. It's horrifying. Like, these people come across owls that are like 4 feet tall, and really bizarre stuff. Like, sometimes like the screen memory or whatever it is doesn't work properly, and they'll see like half alien, half owl. One guy came across like a 4-foot owl holding an owl. There was a family that saw aliens, but half the family saw enormous owls and half saw aliens. Just really bizarre stuff. But that's common with Bigfoot too, is that they'll see UFOs near, or glowing orbs near Bigfoot encounters. I don't know. The whole thing is very bizarre. It's like, it's one of those things that it's like, it's so preposterous that you really can't like full throat believe in it. But it's like one of these persistent patterns. It's like, what's going on here? Why? And it goes back forever. You can get records from like church records from France in 1800s of them having to deal with similar stuff. You can go read all these like bizarre werewolf encounters of these bishops writing encyclicals about werewolves, but the stories sound exactly the same. It's just really strange.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I had this thought like every culture has its own version of the Skinwalker.
How so?
Like there's a story about like breaking a taboo and turning you into a monster. It
Mm.
makes you inhuman. And I think like, there's like the Occam's razor explanation, which is like you don't want people to kill their family or to eat people or, any number of things. But I feel like it's just so the way it supposedly changes people is so sinister and so similar throughout cultures. Like vampires are very similar to skinwalkers. A lot of like witch lore is like there's something like it in pretty much every culture.
Vampires are interesting, way more interesting than they get credit for. They've kind of been Twilight, rebranded, but the OG lore is fascinating.
Yeah, vampires are very scary. I've been on a reading kick and I read Carmilla, which is like a short story novella. Um, it's like it was written before Dracula, and it's like much scarier than Dracula.
Really?
I think.
What's
Yeah,
it called?
it's Carmilla. It's a female vampire.
Interesting, like a
Yeah,
succubus.
sort of, sort of.
What's the story on it?
Um, well, I don't want to give too much away, but it's a very like a mysterious guest arrives, and then it's such an easy short read. I don't want to give I don't want to give it away. If
I don't
anyone
remember the last time I even read fiction.
really,
Yeah, I can't, like, every blue moon, if I have like 5 people recommend it, I'll do it, but it's hard for me to get into fiction.
I've been like I was having issues like finishing stuff, and I was like, I only like read nonfiction. And I was like, maybe I'm just bored. And I switched to fiction, and I was like, oh, I guess I just didn't like the books I was selecting.
I like fiction in audiobooks.
Yeah,
I'll do that. I enjoy that. I've been
not
listening to Lovecraft on audiobook, and it rocks.
a nonfiction audiobook. I love audiobooks. I used to be like a big evangelist for like nonfiction audiobooks, but they're boring.
Oh, I like nonfiction audiobooks. The problem is you don't remember anything. I only do
Yeah,
nonfiction audiobooks if it's like passive information I kind of want to be informed on, but I don't really need to know.
yeah. There's so many with it. Listening to also, this is the last thing I'll say about audiobooks at the risk of being boring as hell, but listening to plays as audiobooks is also like a really good.
Do they have the voice actors? I can do it if they have the voice actors.
Yeah, like full cast.
Yeah, full cast. I
BBC
can
does
even do a
that.
full cast. Yeah. I
That's
love an
really,
audio drama, like an audio drama podcast. Those are the best.
yeah.
Guys, I just want to remind you that the line is open 775-288-8576. And we've been talking a lot about kind of magical stuff, but if you dated a skinwalker, feel free to call in. Or if you know one or your boss
Had
is
an encounter with one
yeah.
online. I mean, I think they're very common online. Let me do my Twitter plug as I do. I mean, I think I'm suppressed on Twitter because we used to get like 18,000, 20,000 people on Twitter. And now we're like sub 1,000.
I almost texted you the other day and I was like, she probably doesn't want to mess with this. But there was a hole in Grok where you could actually send it code and it would read out if you had any tags on your account to suppress you.
It was fake. It was fake.
it?
Yeah, I did it, and it was like nothing came up, but I don't believe it. I think I've liked too many anti-Elon tweets. I'm punished.
You got to be pro Elon in the feed. It gets you bonus points. We have a caller.
Hello.
You were on the
Hello.
line.
Hi, Default. Hi, Taylor. This is
Hello.
Rufio.
Hey,
I mean,
Rufio.
Anon. This is Anon.
Okay.
I wonder if you guys have ever heard. You guys said Skinwalkers is an American thing, but have you? But it's like similar to different parts of the world, like different myths like that. Have you guys ever heard the Aswang?
No.
Maybe it sounds familiar.
The Aswang is the Southeast Asian version, specifically Filipino version of the Skinwalker. And just like you said, they can disguise themselves as people or animals. I'm not sure if you guys recall, but a long time ago, Rufio called it and he talked about the Tikbalang, which is like a type of Aswang that's half horse, half like human, that hides in trees and like kidnaps girls, right? So there's a bunch of different versions out there because Aswang is like a general term, like Skinwalker. The most famous one that maybe Americans would know is the Manan Angal because of a TV show called Grimm that made a story about it, like an anime about it. It's like this succubus type creature that splits their body in half. So their top half is able to flap their wings and fly and suck the visceral from people, but instead of sharp teeth like a vampire, they have a really long tongue that can pierce and suck blood and stuff like that, kind of like a mosquito. But yeah, there's all sorts of different Aswang, just like that are like Skinwalkers, and like you said, I'm not sure if they become Aswang, but I think they're born that way and they kind of hide among people. They essentially come from the pre-colonial devil known as Aswang. Actually, it's like a Aswang and Ugarang are like the devil and god of pre-colonial Philippines, right?
Pre-colonial meaning that it's like pre-Christian in the conception.
Yeah, like before Spain like brought their delicious pigs, and we. So yeah. So that story is like instead of like God and the devil, it's more like brother against brother, They're like these cosmic beings that can like shape Earth and stuff. So Aswang is somebody who stole like fire from Gokuraon and created all these entities, right? So there's a lot of different versions, but they're all kind of like what you guys said, which they hide among people or they'll disguise themselves as creatures. So like if you see a dog or a cat without a tail, that could possibly be an Aswang. You
Interesting.
see like a man with really bad skin conditions, that could be an Aswang in disguise. If you see like
Sad for those guys.
Yes. Say.
if you see like a sexy woman, but like in a slutty way, not like in a beautiful way, like she's like, like on the street corner doing mysterious stuff around the village, that could be an Aswang. She could be in disguise, so she could turn into that Malaangang and eat babies. They like to eat the firstborn babies. They're like the best ones. Like firstborn babies are so delicious, though.
Mysteriously sexy women and guys with skin problems.
Poor guys.
They're just like tagging the people they don't want around.
Yeah, so in general, it's the inversion of what the culture thinks is good. So it evolves over time. So like when Spain came, it became about like, it became like if you're anti-Christian, then you can do Aswang. But before then, people had different morals, right? So the structure back then used to be like not patriarchal. It was kind of like not that. The males like led the government and stuff like that, like village government. But the women were the spiritual leaders and healers. They were known as the bailan, right? They take care of people, stuff like that. And they heal them with magic, I guess. So if you're the opposite of that, and you hurt people and you take advantage of them or their sons and stuff like that, or give them diseases, then possibly you could be an Aswang, not become one, but be one, right? So that's the general kind of myth of Skinwalker version. But tonight, I really want to talk about a specific Aswang called a Manta Bungal, right? This is like a monstrous cow. Like imagine like a minotaur type creature, but without horns. But the horns are like, you have these two long teeth in the front and on the bottom. Top and bottom. They have two really long teeth, and they kill people. That's their thing. Like if they try to take your kids, stuff like that. If you're kind of like a drunk or something, like if you're a person that's kind of wandering to the bad unethical or quote unquote unethical side, then the Mantang Bungal might eat you or eat your kids or something like that. So my aunt Adoration, which was like the matriarch of our family, because she was like the oldest woman. She was like the firstborn, but she was a woman. At one point in her life, because she lived very long, I think she was almost 100 when she died. I think my dad, who was like the younger brother, they're so old, like they were around during World War II. They're all dead now, right? But like how they would hide in like Japanese, like that's how old they are.
Scary.
So one time, I hear this story about her. She doesn't tell me the story. My dad tells me the story about her when she was sent to Palawan, as an island in the Philippines. There's an island like between Malaysia and the Philippines. It's like this long, like if you ever look at the map, it's like the arm. It's like the Florida ding dong of the Philippines. Okay. So she was sent there for some relative to go and like, they have this tradition, right? Or supposedly they have this tradition, because I've never heard this from other Filipino Americans. I feel like when I tell them, they're like, what are you talking about? Like, who raised you? And the truth is, because there's like more than 46,000 islands, that everyone has like a different version of things, right?
Wait, there's 46,000 islands?
I think, no, I'm sorry, more than 4,700.
That's still a ton of islands. Okay, continue. Sorry, I did not know that information. That's very shocking.
So that's why the myths are so varied, and there's so many different like creatures, right? Like another one I want to mention is the tick tick or the wak wak, which it sounds silly, but they're named after the sound they make, because they're like they'd come by and they have like long mosquito type tongues, and they'd suck your blood. And before they come to you, they go tick tick walk walk. And the odd thing is, the closer they are to you, the further away they sound. So just
Ooh.
mind up, you makes you really paranoid, right?
That's good lore. That's a good feature to have.
There's so many like creepy stuff there. Anyway, there's this one that I thought was it was described to me, and I was like, no, that's a Mantan Bengal, because my dad told me a story about my aunt going to this island, right, because somebody died, and apparently, you know how Americans have this tradition: if somebody dies, oh, go call the fucking ambulance and send them off right away, right?
Yeah.
In other cultures, that's weird as fuck. Like, they just died. You don't have to get rid of them. Like, just sit there and grieve, you know? That's like an American thing. Like, somebody dies, send them away. There's this other tradition in the Philippines, supposed tradition, where you have to watch over the body for 3 days. So I thought that was really weird. Like, my aunt was sent to this weird house in the country to sit with a corpse for 3 days. I mean, she might have been considered like a modern day Abalayan, which is like a spiritual female leader, in charge of like healing and stuff like that. And so she was sent to go watch over this dead corpse. I think it was like a cousin or an uncle or something along those lines. And the story is that, the first night it was just really creepy, but the second time there was some sort of apparition. She supposedly what she described was a minotaur type creature, but with those two sharp incisors on the top and bottom of their mouth, like way long, like elephant trunk type incisors, right, shooting out of their mouth. And it sat with her on the table because she had to stay up and watch over this dead body for some reason. I'm not sure, but that's what she described, and that's what I think she found. Because these creatures can sometimes visit you, right? To try to take something from you. So perhaps this creature was trying to take something from this dead relative, and that's why she was sent there to help protect it. So yeah, she was just really creeped out. And on the third night, it was her last night to make sure, before the body got buried or put away. She said she heard little murmurings, tulog ng mga bata, tulog ng mga bata, for like hours. And that means go to sleep, children. Go to sleep. So I think that kind of alludes to like this aswang, this specific type of aswang called the Antang Bengal, was trying to make her go to sleep so she couldn't protect the body. And that creature could, I don't know, do something to her body, maybe eat it, maybe do something where it won't be sent off to like heaven type place. So
what do you make of that? Do you believe it?
Of course. What do you mean?
No, I'm just curious. I mean, people have different beliefs. I was just curious if I don't know. That's a very scary story.
Why would they lie about that?
No, I don't think people lie. I take all of these things at face value. I think people all generally tell the truth about this stuff. All of it, not particular to your story in general. Just I don't know. So much of this stuff is just so odd. I wonder how much of it is like psychological and how much of it is real. I kind of, if when I read it, I tend to think it's real, and then I talk myself out of it. I guess what convinces you that it's real?
Because of the testimonies, like the multiple testimonies, and like them not really having reason to lie, and their feeling when they're telling me the story, like they're scared themselves. They're not trying to like have fun and tell like a spooky story. There is like you said, you could talk about that at anything. The common way to talk it out is that this creature is based off like an ox or a big cow, because like I was talking about in chat, in India, they have were tigers, because tigers are like the big scary thing, right? I'm not sure if there's elephants in the Philippines, but I think India came there one of the Maju Pahadras came there one time with elephants or something. But that's the myth. I think maybe like it was an invasive species, and that's how you could talk your way out of it. Also, maybe it's real. So that's my little Aswang story or Skinwalker story from Southeast Asia.
That's a good story.
I think death attracts weird energy too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they're in between spaces, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you think your soul leaves your body right away, or perhaps these people said 3 days because of, Catholic stuff and Jesus rising every 3 days and 3 being like a big number? But it felt like really creepy because even them talking about it like it's their culture was weirded out when they were telling me they had to sit with this body for 3 days.
3 is important to several religions. It's a kind of a perfect number.
Yeah. But anyway, that's my story from Southeast Asia. Thanks for taking my call.
Great call.
Okay. One more thing. Can I say one more thing?
Sure, please.
Fuck Jonathan Ross. Fuck ICE. Fuck that guy. He's a goddamn coward. He's guilty. All right. Bye, guys.
All right, bye. See ya.
I want to believe. You know what's funny is I believe so many crazy things, but there's something about the creature that makes it harder for me for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm like that with certain things. Like a lot of I feel that way about aliens.
Really? See, I feel much more confident.
Yeah, because so what happened is I was sort of like passively was like ingesting alien stories my whole life. I didn't really know a lot about it. Like I just was never interested in it. I'm much more interested in like reincarnation and spirits and well, everyone knows this. And then I started like buying and reading and listening to all these nonfiction ufology books, and I was like, you just hear, first of all, they're all written in sort of the same register, and then second of all, it's just like some people feel for real, but even the people who are supposedly credible, I'm like, I don't really buy it. I don't really believe it. Like maybe like there has to be something going on, but even like John Mack, I'm like, a lot of it sounds like a crock of shit. And I was like surprised, like Jacques Vallée, like it just like I don't believe it the way I believe in ghosts. Like ghosts for me, I feel like that's definitely real. This like contact in the spirit world, demons, like there's something for me that's like definitely. Even though I will say a lot of books about demons, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I trust but I have like an intuitive sense, like that's real. But with aliens, I'm like, I don't like, maybe there's too much entertainment or too much fluff or something. I haven't experienced it. Maybe I need to have a close encounter.
Shoot. I don't think they're coming anymore. I think every sighting since like 1980 has been false, if I'm being honest. Maybe there's a couple, but
it just doesn't feel. It doesn't.
Well, I think the thing about aliens that I would put them closer into. It's funny that you say like reincarnation, ghost. I think they're closer into that realm than they are into the creature realm. The conception of like aliens from another planet is like a very new thing, and I think that if you look through, I think they're very similar to fairies, like in their conception and overall lore throughout history.
Yeah, I guess.
I think they hide their appearance, which might be true of all of these things. That's what's kind of interesting. Is like, are we just talking about the same thing over and over and over again?
Yeah, I think some cryptids are cryptids. Like I believe it's like ocean cryptids. Definitely. The ocean's scary, as we
I
discussed several shows ago.
I probably wouldn't publicly admit, even though I am now, I kind of believe in mermaids. It's one of the only monomyths across the entire world. It's like it's too it's too well known to not have all of these people came to the same idea. It's just totally bizarre.
I mean, even if it's just like dolphins or something, there's like something up with
I think
with
it's more than dolphins.
and there's all sorts of like large fish. Not that dolphins are fit, but you know what I mean? There's so many like large sea creatures. Like tarpons, is that what they're called? Like yeah, like those are huge. And when you see them move, it's like very, especially in the dark. Whatever it is, I mean, there's something haunted about the sea.
Very. Yeah. Have you ever read Columbus's account of the UFOs that he saw?
No.
It's bizarre. Yeah, he's like traveling across the ocean. He keeps talking about these like orbs that he's seeing on his ship, and he thinks that they're angels. But he recorded it, and he's not the only one. There's like several different like sailors like that who had odd experiences. The sea is like a just a hell on earth. I can't imagine a more frightening place than the sea, especially when you see the like oil tanker videos in the middle of nowhere.
Oh god, those are so scary.
Can you imagine being on like a wooden ship with no motor? You got like you're propelled by a cloth and you're going through that?
Yeah, absolutely not for me. I used to like really want to like go out on sea like when I was like 17. I like got in my head like if I went down to Miami, I would be able to like join the crew of a boat or something.
Oof.
I don't know what I was thinking. I think part of it was like I didn't like register that like as a woman and like I'm not like a particularly strong or athletic woman either. Like it just wasn't gonna make sense for that. But also like I was a teenager. I don't know what I was thinking.
It's one of the last things that feels like a call to adventure.
Yeah.
Brian Patrick says dragons in the chat. Brian, if you want a deep dive on dragons, I have a 25-minute video on it on my YouTube channel.
Have you seen those people who say that they see dragons in like clouds?
They message me. Yeah.
I want to do a show for those people.
I after I put out that video,
Like what's up with that?
um,
What's going on there?
that video blew up, and I had probably 30 messages from different people sending me cloud images of dragons. It's like a very particular, like it's like a niche. I don't get it
I'm
at all.
interested in it. Like I think there's something I think some people can see things too. I looking back on it, I think I was dreaming and I was too young to realize I was dreaming. When I was like a little kid, we lived on like these hills. And I used to like I was like convinced I could see dinosaurs or something in the hills. But I don't know if I was dreaming it or if like little kids can really just hallucinate.
I think little kids can see weird stuff.
Yeah.
They have a sense.
I had a creepy thing with my son.
I remember.
Um
Tell the story.
no, this is like a couple of days ago. It may have been today actually. It was this week. It was this week. He was like I was serving him breakfast, I think, or lunch, and he was saying hello.
Well,
Just over to like hi.
he was doing that like 7 months ago. When you remember you bought like some weird puppet or mannequin or something, and then he started like talking to somebody, and you
Yeah,
texted me about
he
it.
was
He
he
goes-
was
he goes,
he was doing this again. He was saying like hi, like he was having a conversation, and I'm like, who are you talking to?
You think he's clairvoyant? What do you make of mediums? There's some mediums that I think are
I
legit.
believe it. I believe it. I believe it because I went to a spiritualist church.
Really? How's
And
that weird?
well, what was upsetting about it was like everyone was like on their phone, and I'm like, why are you in church, like a church of any variety on your phone? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But the pastor and the end of a spirit, it's like a spiritualist service. At least this one is like a non-denominational Christian service, except at the end, the pastor goes around and does like a spiritual check on every parishioner
Really?
and says if they have a message from the other side. And mine was like so clearly like the description of the person, the message was so clearly my grandmother.
Really?
I
You got like a sense?
Yeah, it was just the way it was like it was an old woman at a kitchen table drinking coffee alone, and then what she shared, which her message for me was just something my nonna would say, and it wasn't like too generic. It was like weirdly. I was like, yeah, I believe that this pastor has some kind of connection to the other side.
Interesting. Have you ever felt that when writing creatively? Not necessarily a specific person, but like a dropped in message? I felt that.
Sometimes, I was thinking like since I started writing professionally, I feel sort of like cut off from
Yeah.
creativity.
Yeah.
But when like 10 years ago, I would get like images that felt like they were channeled.
Yeah, when I started my meditation app, early stages, and I was still able to meditate at that point because I hadn't written 10,000 of them. I felt like that a lot. I felt like it was like a drop in kind of like whoa, like it was odd.
Yeah. I for me, I wondered if it was like a past life.
You think so?
Yeah. Like I felt things so viscerally that I was like, I wonder like if I'm picking up on another life.
There's a bizarre story. It got covered on I think 60 Minutes. The kid is from where I live. And he was 4 years old, and he kept telling these stories of a World War II, battle that he died in, and he knew all this stuff about planes, like, really specific stuff, like, mechanical stuff. Chris Cuomo, funnily enough, before he was famous, was the reporter on the story. Um, and the kid was right on, like, I think over 100 different accounts of this particular guy's
Wow.
life. Yeah, it was, they found the real guy, and they found his whole, um backstory, and it checked out. The kid was right about the type of plane that he flew, all different types of his roles, what his day to day looked like, and the kid would just like talk about it, and then it went away as he aged.
That's crazy.
Guys, y'all are not in the mood to call tonight. After last
Yeah.
week, we had such good calls.
We had so many callers. I need to figure out a way to advertise this better, though. It's kind of on me. I don't remind people. I'm
Um,
sleep all week. Like, and then finally I'm like, oh God, I gotta advertise this. I'm like
if we have
always
any
busy.
editors in the chat, I think clips would help.
Yeah.
I just don't have the time to do it. I want to. I have stuff pulled that I wanna make videos for it, I just don't have the time.
I wanna hire like a assistant for my various ventures.
You should.
So if anyone wants to be my assistant, but like not because you need money, because like you feel a creative and spiritual call to assist me. Um,
Yeah. I'm not gonna dox my, editor on the chat, but I've been swarming him with stuff. But, yeah, we need some help making clips.
I
And
mean, I also think part of it is like I need to just sit down and record myself to just this is why I need like a AI avatar.
you could I tell you what you could do now is those, if you had, like, a really good photo of yourself, man, you really can't even tell. I've been playing with it on, Free Pick. It's like this kind of I texted it to you.
Yeah.
Uh, it works really well. It's, like, scary. We're gonna have full-blown, pretty good AI movies within, like, a year and a half, 2 years.
Oh God.
I think it's gonna be cool. Yeah, I think it's gonna be bad, and then I think it's gonna just democratize creation so much, we're gonna get some really interesting stuff.
Hopefully.
We have a caller.
All right. Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for
Can you
calling.
hear me?
Yeah, what's on
Yeah,
your
we can
mind?
hear you.
Okay, so I just found you guys because you happened to be on live. I actually didn't follow you before. I have my own Substack, different topic, but I have a question because you were talking about channeling or like clairvoyance, and I want to know: have you ever had someone else's dream, or have you had where you kind of had like a mind meld with someone? So, for example, my daughter and I have on 2 different occasions. I had been reading something one evening. She was younger. I did not share it with her, the topic at all. And I went to sleep. And the next morning, she tells me, Mom, I had this really strange dream. And all these specific things had happened in her dream. And it was literally the topic I had been reading about right before I went to bed.
Interesting.
Recently, I was asleep and she was still awake, and she had something she was worrying about, and I had a dream that was exactly the same topic that she was worrying about. The next morning, I told her, I had this really strange dream last night, and it was about this thing that I would have never dreamed about. And she goes, oh, I was, thinking about this thing. And anyway, we've mind melded, and I want to know, does that happen to anybody else?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big believer in like the astral plane. So like your spiritual body going to this other place when you're dreaming. And I think you can control it too. I think it's very, very difficult, but you can be on the same wavelength as somebody else and control it. And I think if at a certain level of closeness, like, a mother and a daughter, or, lovers or best friends, they can also unintentionally meet in this liminal space. Yeah, I'm a very big believer. I think it's the same thing that causes when you have like a bad feeling about like your sister or brother or something, and you call them and like you knew somehow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. We've definitely had that. And also, I think that there are after death visitations to dreams.
Definitely.
And I don't know how that works, but I definitely feel that I have had visitations, um, and I've even had a family member visited by someone. They didn't come to me in my dream. They came to a family member in their dream. This family member did not know the person during life, but explained specifically what the person was wearing. And it was a literal piece of clothing that the person had owned during life 30 years before, 40 years before.
Wow.
Have you heard of the podcast, the Telepathy Tapes?
Yes,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, that sounds very similar to kind of what you're describing. I think it's real. We have a mutual friend, and she does psychedelics frequently, and she has experimented doing psychedelics with friends where they both meditate on the same thing, and they have a remarkable accuracy of passing messages to one another. And I think that twins, parent and child, you can feel if your kid's at a party that they shouldn't be. I think they have an instinct for that, and I think you can actually probably train it if you focused on it.
You can definitely train
Yeah,
it.
I think that's true.
I think it
Sorry, I interrupted.
No, go ahead.
No, I was saying I think that's true. And especially for us, it seems to be that we have the bigger connection with family members, not as much with people outside the family. But even when my mom has passed, even when she was alive, there would be times when we'd think about each other, and I would call at the very second that she was about to pick up the phone and call me. Or I would pick up the phone to call, and it would be live because she'd already called me and it hadn't even run yet when I picked up my phone. So we have those kinds of mind meld things all the time.
It could also run in your family. There's a bizarre interview. It's super old Joe Rogan interview, but the guy, you can go read his research papers. He has this. I wish I could give you more information so you could find it, but they briefly mentioned it in the telepathy tapes. There's these like tiny little microscopic microtubules. That's how they describe them, but it's a protein based fold inside of the brain, and they think that people that have a high amount of these protein folds are actually more susceptible to some sort of telepathy or mind leak, and they've measured it reliably in several different studies. Um, that people can do this, and it's heritable in certain ways.
That's interesting.
Yeah, if you type in telepathy microtubules, you'll find information, and there's real scientific studies on it. You might also like the work
Cool.
of Rupert Sheldrake. He does stuff about animals and humans telepathy, and he has just fast. There's a documentary on YouTube, and he would record these dogs that are really close with their owner. Even if the person wasn't holding a standard routine, as soon as the person decided to come home, even if they're 15 minutes away, the dog would get up from the couch and go sit at the window. The second that, not when they
Yeah,
were coming, when they decided to come. I think it's real.
I do too. I actually have had several dogs in my lifetime, but we've had two that had that kind of connection with us. And I have video of one of them who would definitely do that. Be standing by the window looking out for, about 10 to 15 minutes before the car would pull in the drive.
You might have a very telepathic family.
Well, that's really neat. Thank you for taking my call. I'm glad I found you guys, and I'll be following.
Yeah, thank you for
Oh.
calling.
Have a good night.
You too.
You too.
Great call.
Yeah, I love when we get like sort of like wild card, like people we weren't expecting.
That's how we got Epic Mercury, right? So we got some of our neatest
Yeah.
callers by accident.
That's how we got Nathan.
Yeah, we got Nathan on like stream too. He just happened to find us. It was meant to be. Have I ever told you that bizarre story about the Ouija board and my
yeah.
friend from high school? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the strangest kind of dream slip story. I'll share it again for the people in the audience because we don't have any callers. But my friends in high school, I used to never do it because I have sense that it's a bad idea. But we had an old Civil War graveyard in the town I grew up, and my friends used to go to the graveyard and do a Ouija board. And there was a girl that started doing it on her own, not at the graveyard, but just by herself. And she thought she was talking to this girl, and she started feeling kind of a demonic presence with this person thing that she was chatting with. So she quits talking to the thing. She's noticing things in her room moving, bad dreams, that sort of thing. And I forget the entity's name that she was talking to, but it was like, let's say Sarah. So she calls me. She's like, I'm done with this. I used to bring her to school, and I pick her up one morning, and she's like freaking out. Her little sister, who was like 6 at the time, said, I had a dream of a friend of yours, and she's mad at you because you don't talk to her anymore. Her name's Sarah.
Ooh.
Yeah. And so I was like, yeah, you gotta don't go back. Don't. And it eventually went away. But her little sister, who had no idea what was going on, had this dream of this girl that she was supposedly talking to on the Ouija board, which is horrifying. But we have a caller.
Hello.
Hi. I wasn't sure what we're talking about tonight.
Skinwalkers.
Oh, Dreamwalkers?
Skinwalkers, but Dreamwalkers too, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I just wanted to call and say that 10 minutes ago, I finished Moby Dick. I heard.
Congratulations. Did you like it?
Yeah, it took me 21 years.
Wow.
Is it worth it? Do you remember the beginning?
I don't remember it. No, that's the thing. I don't remember what happened.
It's so funny. I feel like in the last year, I've talked to like half a dozen people who have read or started reading Moby Dick.
It speaks to our times, I guess, maybe.
How so?
Well, just like this guy, this Captain Ahab is really this big character, and he is he's going to do everything possible to get this whale, even though his entire crew will die. Oh no! I told you what happened. I had no idea how this book would end, because we've all seen like representations of it in cinema and things like that. But who actually knows how it ends?
Who actually knows what it's about?
I'm not gonna read it. I have to imagine that at this point, it's just not gonna be worth the hype.
Well, you don't know.
I don't have time for that.
I don't know if it really relates to. Does it relate in any way to dreams?
I think
I
it
don't know.
relates to life. It's a very, to go and conquer this thing that you want at all cost, and then it costs you everything, and for what? It's based on a real historical story.
Mhm.
The real story is actually more horrifying than Moby Dick. The guys, a whale crashed their ship and they ended up on an island. And the story ends, they all turned to cannibalism and like one dude lived.
Jesus.
Oh,
Yeah, it was the biggest news story up until the Titanic. It was like the most horrific story that people had heard.
oh, I see. Up until the Titanic.
Yeah, the Titanic eclipsed it
Yeah.
as like the biggest disaster, but that was a big deal.
Titanic is still the biggest disaster news story.
The funny stuff is all the people that have the conspiracy around the Titanic. Now it's like leaked into conspiracy world.
What are the conspiracy?
Oh,
I have no idea if it's any factuality to it, but they connected to the founding of the Fed, that it was like certain people were on the ship that actually were against the founding of the Fed, and it was purposely crashed to lead to the creation of the Fed. I want to believe. I don't know.
probably true. And that's another like story. Like it relates to the whale story too. Like they had this dream of building this ship, and and they believed in their dream so much that they didn't consider any other possibility other than success. And then it hits the iceberg, and then sorry, I spoiled the ending for you. It sinks. Well, anyway, that's just a brief call just to say hello, and I'm enjoying the show. So
Thanks for
have
calling.
Thanks for calling.
Have a good night. Bye bye.
You too.
Brian Patrick in the chat, this will not be our last call. Feel free to call in. You've got a couple more minutes here. He wants to talk about Jim Henson, Muppets, and conspiracy, which sounds great.
Yeah. Let me get some eyes on my puppet. I do have quite a few rod puppets as well, which is the type of puppets Muppets are. But not in my room.
I love Muppets. I love all the
Me
old
too.
movies.
I've been getting really into Sesame Street.
Really?
Yeah, I watch like hours of Sesame Street a day. My husband thinks I'm like surreptitiously showing we have like a no screen rule for my son. And what happened is like I started showing it to him in like little bursts. Like if TMI, but like I have really bad morning sickness, so I'll like go and throw up, and he's a toddler, and he needs mommy all the time. So I'd like turn on Sesame Street for a little bit just to distract him so I could go barf. And then I just kind of got like really into it. I actually like it myself as just like a show that I watch.
You're the originals, the old school ones?
Yeah. There's like 53 seasons or something on Amazon Prime.
I like the vibe of the old ones. I like the kid shows that are kind of slow. I like that.
Yeah.
The Mr. Rogers kind of vibe.
I kind of want to get into Fraggle Rock too. I'm like surprised that I haven't.
Fraggle Rock is good. All the Muppets are good. The Muppet Treasure Island, excellent. He'll love
Christmas
that.
Carol.
In like 2 years, he'll be digging that.
Yeah, we were big Muppets Christmas Carol family.
Muppets Christmas Carol is like a top 10 Christmas movie, maybe top 5. I'd have to think about it.
Yeah, I this is the first year I didn't watch it.
It's arguably the best adaptation of.
Oh, absolutely.
Carol. It's very touching.
So this like very strange adaptation of A Christmas Carol. I love A Christmas Carol, and my family got me tickets to a production in Chicago a couple of years ago, and I felt kind of bad. I was like I couldn't really take it seriously because Scrooge was Chinese. I had like a thick Chinese accent. Like for some reason, I just like
he had an accent. Was he the
which
only
is like
person with
it's almost like racist in a way. Like it was supposed to be like this is a multicultural thing, it's like everyone can be part of this story. But I was like, what is going? I mean, it was just weird.
It's very yeah. Yeah, it doesn't fit. 'Cause it breaks the time period.
Yeah,
It's like how many Chinese immigrants did they have during, you know
probably like
uh,
one or two. I
yeah,
mean, but that
2
it's weird
days.
being Chinese. I couldn't. It felt like so woke. It had actually like circled back to like anti-Chinese, sort of like why is Scrooge Chinese? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's where most of that stuff ends. It's like,
Like, like the Chinese guy's the cheap, miserly one. Is he also Jewish? Can't appreciate Christmas?
oh man. Well, Chinese is probably better than Jewish for Scrooge.
I think I don't know if I made this up or I'm misremembering or it's real, but I think Charles Dickens wrote A Christmas Carol after he like visited America and was like horrified by the way we treated people and our working conditions.
Really?
I could have
Sounds like
dreamed that.
modern creation.
It's like something that I would dream and it just feels real enough. But also it feels like it also could be real.
I can't imagine it'd be worse than England during that time period. It's
I
like,
mean, if he was like a British supremacist or something, maybe it was.
shoot, man, England was pretty nasty for a while. It was rough times in England.
I think about that. I've been thinking about that a lot lately. Like
How
when people like
nasty
are
England is.
no, well, my ex-husband really hated the English, like just
Why?
straight, like because he's Irish, like he was
Ah,
from Ireland, he's from Belfast,
makes
and
sense.
where the Titanic comes from. Just to circle it back around, but no, I've been thinking a lot about how negative like doomers are, and it's like, would you rather be living in like like Industrial Revolution England?
Oh, we're in the best time in the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
By a
And I
mile.
think like how much people complain and it's like, we're missing out on something. It's like and the crazy thing is they want to just go back to like 1995, which so do I, but like I think, I want to be a baby. Like when it's all said and done, I miss being a baby. But like um it's like you wouldn't be happy then.
I think what they probably in my mind, if I was embodying that, there is a simplicity. 1995 would certainly not fit the bill, but there is an older simplicity to the idea of like you wake up and what you have to do is the things that keep you alive, right? There's like
Yeah.
a simplicity of living. The battle we struggle with now is much more of a spiritual internal battle, and I don't think most people are suited for that.
I think that's totally right. I will say though, like, benefit of like fiction, right? Is I've been reading all these short like old novellas, short stories and novels. And like no matter how far back you go, I mean like people are miserable. you know?
Yeah,
They're like pretty and like miserable in the same way, like they don't feel fulfilled, they feel too sedentary, like I mean just maybe that's a condition of like being able to have the interior life that necessitates a novel or short story, and like that's actually where everything went wrong. I know that's a particular school of thought, but it's like uh you know I listened to Faust, because I was like, this is like a classic. I'm not going to read it, but I will listen to the full cast audiobook, which was it was a nice way to spend 2 or 3 days. Um, and like I mean, that really holds up, like the issues that Goethe grapples with in Faust. I mean, it's like they update the language and take away the poetry, and it's some whiny, sensitive young man on Twitter.
yeah, the sensitive young man. Something I think about a lot. I think it was Richard Rohr, if I had to guess. It was when I was reading a lot of meditation books. But he was talking about in the Middle Ages, the conception of time was different. Like so much of the way that we experience the world is like layered on top of like culture in a way that we don't fully understand. And
Yeah.
he describes it as deep time. That we measure ourselves in hours and minutes and days, and we have this sense of productivity. But that didn't really exist until we had a universal clock. That's the first idea of running late. We didn't have running late in any real sense before that. And they were talking about the weight of the productivity that we don't get to experience the deep time. And he had connected it to the idea of like experiencing God, but also experiencing like the negative energy in the woods. That there's a slowness to life that is different. It's hard for us to even conceptualize what that would feel like. And I think the same is probably true of purpose and feeling fulfilled. That it's probably much more ingrained in us than we even realize. That even if they had a different sense of like not being fulfilled, it's probably in a different way than we can probably conceptualize. Because the words of like history don't really do justice to it, to the way that these people lived or thought.
Yeah.
We have a caller.
Oh, wonderful.
Caller, you're online.
Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Cool. So, like a few minutes ago, you were talking. Oh, right. Speaker. Let's see. Can you hear me now better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you're getting an echo. Make sure to mute that stream.
Okay. Wait, it's like repeating on the phone call.
You sound good on
Okay.
our end.
Yeah.
Maybe the speaker. Maybe
I'm-
just put it up to your ear. You there?
Yeah, I can hear myself repeating.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
Do you want to call back?
This seems to happen sometimes, and there's no real rhyme or reason. I wonder what it is.
Yeah.
I forgot what we were even talking about. Oh, the differences in people, the way that they lived and experienced time.
Yeah.
I think that's probably much more true than we can even conceptualize.
Yeah, I think so too. There's a story, I've told this story a few times, and I've never been able to verify it, but I think like something similar happened in North Korea. So I used to take Khmer lessons, and my tutor had lived through Pol Pot's regime, and I can never tell if like it was a language barrier, if he made this up, if it really happened. But if it's true, it's very haunting. He was like, one of the first things Pol Pot did was set this very strict curfew, and then he went into everyone's homes and took away our clocks and our watches.
Interesting.
And there's something about that I think like, with like the idea of like you're going back to year zero and like experiencing time in this different way. But I think in like North Korea too, they have some sort of weird relationship with timepieces, because the way time structures how we think and perceive ourselves is so deep and ingrained. Like you can't really appreciate it until you don't have a clock.
It's an interesting idea to think about your conception of like the way you're measuring your days is by the sun and by the seasons.
Yeah.
It's almost relaxing in a way, but I'm sure it's kind of now it almost sounds horrifying because of the way that we live. But there is something kind of transcendent about it. It feels kind of aligned with the way things are supposed to be.
Yeah, I've always wanted to try, like waking up with the sun.
I saw this on Twitter. Who knows if it's true? But I saw that the average peasant got like 11 hours of sleep, and I was like, I wonder if that's true. Probably
Wow.
much better rested. Who knows? People just say things.
Yeah, there's a lot of misinformation on Twitter. I was like complaining about this earlier in the week. My least favorite type of Twitter post is like the guy who sort of like, acts as this medical authority and just like makes something up. What
Like
what the
what?
fuck? There was one I can't like remember. It was from a few years ago, and it really pissed me off. It was like something. It was some like misinformation about uteruses, and I wish I remembered exactly what it was. But I mean, people just make all sorts of stuff up, like like such and such obscure thing everybody does every day is actually super unhealthy, or like I don't know, just such and such a thing is like bad parenting. If you give your toddler carrots, actually you're like giving them autism. Like there's always some kind of weird shit like that, or just totally like Mad Libs health misinfo.
It's sad. I still kind of am, but I used to really, really get into like super alternative health, and I still do for compared to the average person. But it's as big pharma has kind of lost their grip, and it's become like there's money to be made in alternative space. So much of it is like these people. They're just saying stuff.
Crazy.
Yeah, and I'm
Well,
like
what's
a supplements dude who will cut out weird stuff from his diet, and it's just frustrating.
what's really crazy too is like there's an and you notice this is maybe I don't like believe in the power of cyberspace as much as I've been arguing all these years, but you notice it when you're in these sort of alt health spaces in the physical world versus when you see it online. Like there's a difference between the poster who's trying to make Elon bucks telling you to treat your cold or flu or whatever with like colloidal silver, and then the person who's actually taking it and selling it. Like you see so much more like viscerally what works and what doesn't. Like some things are it's like perfectly good advice, and some things like uh really aren't. Like I remember I dated a guy um man like 7 years ago now, and he would just like take essential oils instead of any kind of like medicine. It's just like so disturbing to see like someone like something that could be like easily cleared up with an antibiotic or something like an ear infection, and then you're just like seeing them like do little droplets of like orange essence or whatever. What are you doing?
See, I'm not that guy, but I like that kind of stuff.
I mean, I'll try.
I wouldn't go that bad, but
I'll
yeah.
like there's certain things I think are worth a shot. Like, when everyone was putting butter in their coffee like 15 years ago or whatever, like stuff like that is like whatever. But like, if you have like a lesion on your leg or something, just like some hydrogen peroxide, see a doctor.
Gee, sometimes every blue moon you find something. I've had some pickups on stuff that I've added, and I'm like, that made a huge difference. But yeah, a lot of it. When they also I think the thing that frustrates me the most is that they eh, alternative health is measured in like degrees, like it's not medication. So you're kind of like stacking like this is 20% better, this is 20% better, and they're like this supplement will save your life. I'm like, it probably just like marginally helps your sleep.
Well, the other thing is like, and I'm absolutely no expert in this, is like, and I think this is like partially a problem with big pharma and partially a problem with sort of these influencers who are selling the lifestyle. Is like sometimes like the pill you buy over the counter or you're prescribed like is either derived or literally is the natural thing.
Yeah.
And it's like
Yeah.
it's a branding difference.
Yeah.
Like they're totally right, but it's like this isn't hidden knowledge. Like if you looked it up, you would find this.
I tell you what, I am a believer that I think big pharma does hide cures.
Oh, I
I-
think so too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm all in on that. I
I
still
don't I'm not a big pharma truster by any means.
all right. I think this might be the same person. Let's see.
Hello.
Okay.
Is
Hi.
it working now?
That is nice to charm.
You hearing yourself?
No, I'm not anymore. I disconnected anything that could have been messing with my phone.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I think a few minutes ago or so, we were talking about like writing and how like some people would have specific images before they wrote.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to get that a lot, but I haven't really been able to in the winter since I got really sick. So I've mostly been resting. And like now that like I'm actually getting better and I can like slowly feel my brain going back online, I'm like, wow, I actually am starting to connect to this again.
That's nice.
What kind of
Yeah.
images do you receive?
I don't know, it's just like sort of scenes that I think would be cool in like the story that I'd like to work in. Like I don't really like think of it in like a sort of linear way. I just sort of think, oh, I want this to happen at some point and I want that to happen at some point, which probably isn't the best way to think of it, but that's just how I sort of process it.
Do you feel like it's channeled or just inspiration?
Yeah. I don't know. Like I just thought that was interesting. Like also like I tend to like get more like vivid ideas of what I want to write at like certain hours of the night. Like there's like a sort of different kind of energy when I'm thinking about what I'd want to write. While at like other times of the day, like I just can't really see it as well.
That makes I believe there's like certain times that are, I don't know, more there's there's like the idea of the veil being thinner sometime,
Yeah,
in terms of night.
that definitely makes sense. Like when you were like you were creative, what times were like the most important for you?
The early morning, I think. Whether I'd stayed up late or woke up early.
Yeah. For me, it's usually like around midnight to the early morning.
Oh, Catherine.
Sorry, I'm here. I have a cough and a cold.
Yeah. Like that's usually the times that work best for me.
Well, there's a little bit of an echo there. I heard myself.
Like are there some sort of spiritual significance to that time?
Spiritual significance in the early morning? I think so.
Yeah,
Do
like around midnight.
like midnight to 3, midnight to no, I'm thinking like midnight to 6. It's like an
6 a.m.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense.
Well, it's nice to hear from you again. Thanks for
Yeah.
giving us a call.
Yeah, thanks. Sorry for any problems with the signal. And
That's all right. It happens.
Is that the last call? Getting
It
late.
could be. Yeah, it could be the last call. Rufio says the witching hour. Yeah, the witching hour. I think it's a little bit longer than the witching hour though.
Isn't the witching hour 3 a.m.?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're finally picking up in view count as we
always
go.
do. We need to like do this show like 11 to 1 a.m., but I refuse. We probably crush it.
We could try one night. I mean,
we'll do it on special occasions, maybe like a Halloween episode or like a New Year's Eve or something.
yeah, we need to try it like at when I go to the radio station. We should try it.
It would be easier if it was I have work in the morning. If it was like a Friday or Saturday, maybe we'll do a special episode.
I need to. I mean, I say this every stream. Sometimes I think we've gotten up to like 30,000, and then sometimes we're just like lingering at. Well, now we're at 2.1. Someone needs to like we need to get like DoorCash or something to like help us advertise, give us some tips on how to get a bigger
Who's that?
viewership. He has like one of the most popular podcasts.
Does he live stream?
No. Let's get some advice from Tim Pool.
I don't know how he gets the numbers that he does.
He has billboards in Chicago. It's crazy.
Does he
I
re-
drive past his face all the time.
I'm not going to be a hater, but I
It's
don't
an
know.
all right show, but like,
It's
so
long.
yeah. You know what's crazy to me? Like, there's all of these like podcasters who like everyone knows who they are, and no one like hates them, but no one really likes them either. And it's like, how are you sustaining a career? It's like the weirdest thing.
Media numbers are weird. Like if you look at the relative numbers of your average like famous political person, they're doing 50,000 views a video. I'm like, bro, I couldn't buy a shirt with the YouTube ads from 50,000 views.
Yeah.
And they get advertising contracts. I'm like, who is paying for this?
Well, you know, a lot of these contracts go through agencies, and nobody really knows anything.
We need to get on an agency. We need.
It's like a scam economy.
It is a scam economy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's just a weird thing. All right, so let's do like a last call for callers. How about this? I'm gonna pull up the song.
You have 30 seconds, caller. The number is on the screen. The number is 775-288-8576. Brian, you have 1 minute. Brian says he wants to call in and talk about his DMT entities. We need to start. I'll tell you what we need to do. We need to start finding an expert on any given topic. We need to find some person, some folklorist or something to call in on, or some expert, but we'll need the assistant for that. I don't think Brian's calling. I think he's teasing us. Oh, he says here. Oh, he called. You were on the line.
Hey, what's up, man?
How's it going? I was not sure if you were gonna call. I'm glad you got in.
Is this legit?
Thank you.
Is this legit? I mean, like the real. I'm going off of the X page, some ad on X.
Yeah.
Thing's called American Dreamland.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, great. I'm just making sure I'm on the right frequency. Well, I guess I mean I don't have no stories on Skinwalkers or anything of that sort. Mainly like UFO or like demon maybe related.
Perfect.
If that's what you're willing to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's cool. I guess. I mean, where are you guys from? Anyways, I'm looking at this ad, but it doesn't say that much information.
I'm in Louisiana.
Oh, okay. See, I'm from California, man.
Awesome.
Yeah. I guess that you could describe the location as Central California.
Okay.
The Central Valley. Yeah. This is where it mainly happened. But I got the first story I guess I got for you was a UFO related one. Me and a buddy were driving out towards some other town, and we happened to see some crazy lights, dude. Like in the middle of some, I guess, like orange fields. I don't know if you're familiar with that type of scenery, but this weird like lights that, like, I don't know, they were just floating in the air, man. It had no body structure, no shape, no form, I guess. Like at the time I was trying to like use logic, right? Like, what am I looking at? What's going on? Even my buddy was like trying to figure out like, what the hell are we looking at? But dude, I don't to this day I can't even tell you what it was. But basically the best way to describe it would be like a Christmas tree with adorned with a bunch of lights, right? But no Christmas tree.
Was it a triangle craft?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it had like no shape, man. Just a bunch of lights.
And you think it was all one entity? Like one shit, or was it a lot of different little ones?
I guess one entity, but not intact.
Interesting.
Like a cluster of stars. You ever seen those pictures? I guess.
Yeah.
Like that, but in the air. I guess that's the best way to describe it. but going off like I said, like a Christmas tree, like when the lights go on and off,
Mm-hmm.
like that.
What color were the lights?
All the colors of the spectrum from I can remember, like rainbow, dude, even white.
Interesting. Was it scary?
Yeah, man, it was
Did
like
you have
maybe
a weird
3
feeling?
blocks away. What was that?
Was it scary? Did you have a weird feeling about it, or was it more just kind of like interesting?
Man, I still get shocked talking about it, but I will tell you this: like I used to always joke as a kid or laugh when I hear stories, and there was never evidence, right? Pictures, videos, or whatnot. But the fact that it happened to me and I had a cell phone, I didn't even record it. I kind of get it now. Like you're shocked, you're frozen. If that makes sense.
Why? You may not be able to answer this, but my impression is that when people see UFOs, they typically see it for a reason, unless it's a mass sighting event. Why do you think that it presented itself to you?
Well, I wasn't really religious, and I mean, I could. This is open to another like whole topic on subject, but it made me religious in that sense because I started wondering what it was, and I started looking for answers.
Interesting. Where did you land on that question?
I mean, either it is some intergalactic spaceship that for some reason has this figure, right? Or it's a military craft for some reason that wants to mess with the humans because of that theory, right? That we mess with the citizens, or it's a freaking fallen angel.
Did you grow up Christian?
No.
So
I was actually that kid that would rebel and say there's no God.
Yeah.
God isn't real, and yeah.
Is that the impression when you say fallen angel? Are you talking about it from a Christian perspective, or what kind of faith, or is it just kind of a nondescript angel?
Well, that's what's like. I don't classify myself a Christian, but from the Christian theory, yeah. Or a jinn. I'm pretty sure some Muslims would call it the jinn.
Interesting.
The Muslims have angels also.
Yeah, but I mean, if it was evil, it would be a jinn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know much, man. I'm just,
Did you get a spiritual feeling from it, or was it just so odd that you could only conceptualize it in kind of a spiritual way?
It was definitely supernatural, some spiritual nature, but again, I wasn't maybe close to religion or some God, so maybe I had no armor of God, if that makes sense. I wouldn't be able to tell you.
No, it's fascinating.
But it was real what I saw, and there was another witness. But
have you had anything else odd happen in your life?
No, I mean, there was another incident with that same buddy, but I did work at a old folks home, now that I recall, for like 3 years, and there was for sure some ghost stuff. I used to see shadow figures there, and then some nurses collaborated with that story, saying they did see the same figures. They actually got scared when I brought it up because I worked the night shift, graveyard shift.
Interesting. It's shadow figures. So it was a nursing home, or is that a hospital?
Yeah. There you go. Nursing home, retirement home.
What were the shadow figures doing?
Well, I mean, dude, I was like night shift where I just watch the grounds and maybe do some kitchen work, some like janitorial. But the way I would see it, they'd be like in the corner of my eye because I would it would be all dark. The dining room where they all eat, the mess area, and the kitchen, and I would just see them run across the freaking the big dining hall. And at first I thought, I mean, it's 3 a.m, maybe all my eyes are messing with me, right? And at one point I got tired of it, so I mentioned it to another night shift and actually a day shift that would transition, and they both agreed with what I saw.
Whoa.
Do you think it was
a interaction, I guess, with that?
What do you think that was? Like an angel of death, or just like a ghost, or what?
Well, they told me people die there, and I mean, man, that's where that job had a lot of memories. But a patient died there, not my shift, luckily. I mean, but he was like kind of hospice, but they had told me a lot of patients die there. So I imagine either spirits aren't resting. But I mean, I do believe in demons and stuff like that. So maybe it could be some malevolent spirit. But I mean, there's a lot of religious people there. You'd think it wouldn't be in that area, I guess.
Did it feel like a negative spirit? I imagine so.
It tripped me out, yeah. Yeah, it did. It did, like, rub me wrong, but I'd ignore it, right? I just focus on your work kind of deal.
Sure.
And even then, I'll be honest, I was still, at that time, I wasn't really religious, so it's kind of, I didn't believe in that stuff, but kind of psyched it out. But all these incidents led up to my,
Did your life change dramatically after that UFO sighting? It sounds like it might have.
Oh, no. If anything, like, my buddy didn't want to talk about it. He thought like the Men in Black were going to come after us. And I mean, at one point I was like, well, you never know. There was that one video that came out that was supposedly like debunked, and then it wasn't debunked, and I don't know. I guess that's why you don't hear that many stories. But I mean, I'm sharing it with you guys. Might as well. It's been years, If I could say exact date, it was 2015 maybe. Yeah, more than 10 years. The UFO, and then the oh, well, I gotta tell you the other story, man. The demon attack. That's what I call it. If you want to hear it.
Yeah.
All right. This one, same buddy, the one that we saw UFO. I think I can't remember. Was it after? This dude, it's been so long, but a lot of shit happens. Man, sorry. Excuse me. Wait, it's okay if you, is this type of you don't care if you cuss on air type of still?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can say whatever you like.
Don't want to get you guys flagged or something. Well, yeah, basically me and some buddies that had this hangout spot, but for background information, this spot was known for like, druggies, freaking, doing the nasty, deaths, just a bad area. It was like basically outside of town, but it was a hangout spot for many people, whatever you want to take it as. But one time, me and a buddy went, and it was just me and him, the one that saw UFO. Usually it's a gang of us, but then I guess they were doing their own thing. Right, fuck it, let's go hang out, drink some. And we went, and it seemed like a normal night, and we figured maybe there's other people there. Like I said, it's a hangout spot, because all of a sudden, like we started hearing knocking, like on the outside of his truck. And just also for more background, it's a small pickup, like one of those kind of 2-door little small bed type of deals. And it was a small truck. It's not like something big where you wouldn't be able to see like blind spots and whatnot. But anyways, we're hearing knocking. And I initially I thought it was my buddy messing with me, and just because he used to joke around and whatnot. But we just kept hearing it over and over again. And us being like tough guys, macho guys, like, we'll confront whoever's messing with us, whether it's some freaking junkie or some prankster or buddy trying to play pranks. And when we heard knocks again, we jump out confronting, whatever we're gonna see. But there was nothing. At that point, we're kind of like tripped out, like we were hearing all this taps, we're not somewhere like close to an object that could tap the truck, but there's nothing there. It's just dead quiet, no sound. Hell, I could hear my buddy breathing. That's how quiet it was. And give me a second, man.
The suspense.
Yeah. This guy's got some good stories.
He does. Somebody on Twitter points out that jinn are neutral. This is true. They are. There can, but some of them are evil. Some of them are benevolent, and some of them are nothing. Yes.
Sorry about that.
What up? We hear you.
Where was they at?
The knock got out of the truck.
Yeah, we confronted the knocking, right? It's almost over. So we confronted the knocking. There was nothing there. It's dead quiet. We're both shocked, like, what the hell's going on? We step in, and it's funny that you just reminded me of what you said something earlier, but when we got in the truck, I felt like in my spirit, or I don't know how to describe it, man, religious or whatnot, and during that time, but I felt in my being that we, like, something told me in my mind, or whatever you want to take it as, you shouldn't have done that. I guess, like, step out or confront, whatever you want to do that. And I spoke. I told my buddy, I don't think we shouldn't have done that. And all of a sudden, like, nails on a chalkboard, like teacher, right? A scratch above his freaking truck, dude.
On the car?
You know what I'm talking about? Like, what's that?
It scratched the truck?
The top of it.
Really?
Like nails on a chalkboard. It went from knocking, tapping. I told my buddy, I felt like something wrong. I'm like, hey, dude, we shouldn't have done that. And then freaking on cue, freaking nails on chalkboard above his freaking truck.
Did you look and see if there was a scratch on the vehicle?
No, but the thing is, we both got scared, and even got more scared than me. He freaking floored it. That at the point I was more scared he was in the crash, man.
That's
crazy. It was a real trippy moment.
You think it was a demon?
Yeah, I mean, what else could it have been, dude?
That's
real
crazy.
creepy stuff. Yeah. But I mean, that's all I got. I hope you guys enjoyed that.
Well, thank you for calling. That was a great call.
For sure, man. If anything ever happens again, hopefully I'll share that story with you guys again. Maybe I'll find another ad, or I'll look you guys up. Actually, I'll check out the ad again.
Are you on Twitter?
Yeah.
If you just follow default friend Catherine's account, we go live every Thursday, so we'd appreciate it.
Awesome. I mean, I'll probably remember. There's some other stuff, but I think it's just my imagination playing with me. But those two stories, I will not ever say they didn't happen, or
Perfect.
Real stuff, man.
Well, thank you for calling.
All right, man. You guys have a good night. Yeah, for sure. Take care.
You too. Bye.
That was spooky.
That was a good one. You got your song pulled up?
Yeah, my house kept settling during his stories, and it was freaking me out.
You want to hear something freaky? My house is, I guess it's kind of old. It's totally remodeled, but every single night, this is the only time I hear this. I get in my bed and I hear this like loud, like 2 clicks, like the floorboards creaking right to the right of me almost every single night.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's enough to it's loud enough to like kind of jolt you awake. Like it's always like I'm on the edge of sleep. It freaks me out. I just lie to myself and say it's nothing, but it happens probably 80% of the nights.
Damn, that's scary.
I'm just choosing to believe it's just an old house that happens to creak at the same time every night.
All right, I'm gonna switch to music.
It's Ebenezer Scrooge, looking older and more wicked than ever. I knew he wouldn't disappoint us.
Who are you?
In life, we were your partners, Jacob and Robert Marley.
It looks like you, but I don't believe it.
Why do you doubt your senses?
Because a little thing can affect them. A slight disorder of the stomach can make them cheat. You may be a bit of undigested beef, a blob of mustard, a crumb of cheese. Yes, there's more of gravy than of grave about you.
More of gravy than of grave? What a terrible pun. Where do you get those jokes? Leave comedy to the bears, Ebenezer.
Please, Jacob, Robert, don't criticize me. You always criticize me.
We were always heckling you. It's good to be heckling again. It's good to be doing anything again.
Why do you come to me?
It is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk abroad among his fellow men. And if that spirit goes not forth in life, he is condemned to do so after death, to witness what he cannot share, but might have shared and turned to happiness. We're Marley and Marley, avarice and greed. We took advantage of the poor and just ignored the needy. We specialized in causing pain, spreading fear. And if you could not pay the rent, we simply threw you out. There was the year we evicted the entire orphanage. I remember the little tykes all standing in the snowbank with their little frostbitten teddy bears. We're Marley and Marley, our hearts were painted black. We should have known our evil deeds would put us both in shackles. Captive bound, we're double ironed, exhausted by the weight. As freedom comes from giving love, so prison comes with hate. We're Marley and Marley. We're Marley and Marley.
But my friends, you were not unfeeling towards your fellow men.
True, there was something about mankind we loved. I think it was their money. Don't, Scrooge. you're doomed for all time. Your future is a horror story written by your crime. Your chains are forged by what you say and do.
So have your fun when life is done. A nightmare waits for you. Please, can't we go back to being funny?
Funny? Funny? We're Marley and Marley. We're Marley and Marley. We're Marley and Marley. And now it's time to part. To go back where they keep our kind. The wretched and the heartless. The news we shared has got you scared. We're glad that we got through. So make amends and make some friends. The future's up to you.
What are these terrible chains?
The chains! We forged these chains in life by our acts of greed. You wear such a chain yourself.
Humbug! Speak comfort to me, friends.
Comfort! You will be haunted by 3 spirits.
Haunted? I've already had enough of that.
Without these visits, you cannot hope to avoid the path we tread. Expect the first ghost tonight when the bell tolls 1.
Can't I meet them all at once and get it over with?
When the bell tolls